Remember our good friend Andy Rubin?
Oh, I miss Andy.
The original gangsta of Android.
What's he been up to?
The founder of Android.
The creator of the sidekick.
Oh, he's here. He's here.
How's it going, buddy? It's good to have you back. According to the information, Andy, who's been out of the Android game for almost 2 years now, he's been running his own incubator for hardware startups. It's called Playground Global. He's reportedly recruiting people for a new Android phone company. Multiple sources say that Andy has been actively pursuing personnel for this. No word as to whether he'll have a direct role in operations or if he's just providing funding for the venture. Out of my periphery, I can see Brady furiously nodding his head up and down. So I have to ask you, one, do you know Andy? And two, do you know what he's up to?
We have met.
Okay.
And I'm familiar with Playground.
Okay.
And I do not know what he's up to, but...
Dang it.
Does he talk? Does he talk like that on the street?
No, just talk like that.
He doesn't talk like a jib jab.
Yeah, he doesn't talk like
Hi,
a
Brady.
Amazingly enough,
It's good to see you again. It's been a really long time, Brady, but man, it's always an honor to meet you again.
But what Playground is doing is pretty interesting. I mean, they raised $300 million, probably over $300 million from strategic. So Google, I think it was Flextronics, Foxconn, sorry, and a couple of others. They have some partners, and then they have, so they invest in companies, but then they also have a workshop where they're hiring best-in-class engineers, designers to then help incubate those companies, and in some cases form them like a studio. And so that's what you could imagine happening with this Android company. It's in some ways, the studio model is reminiscent of what BetaWorks does, which is the company that created Twitter Search, Bitly, Chartbeat, and a bunch of other companies where they invest, but they also form companies.
Yeah, so it looks like the investors are Google, Hewlett-Packard Ventures, and Redpoint. Yeah, and Han Hai. Yeah. So it's interesting to see him doing that and then saying, "Oh, but Android is calling me." You know?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess that's the question: is this the pursuit of Playground Global, or is this kind of a project near and dear to Andy's heart that could bring him closer to Android, or you know what I mean? Like, is it a periphery sort of thing where, oh yeah, Playground Global, yes, we invested in this thing, and it's one of many things we do, or is it Andy going, I feel you call in my heart, and I'm being pulled back in Android. Here I come.
You know, every single one of us has a mobile phone, so it is, you know, a mobile phone company has the opportunity to have 1 billion customers, and there aren't too many industries that really like that. So VCs have to go big. And I can only imagine that that's what Andy wants to do.
And given the environment we're in with Android, with companies like Nextbit and and OnePlus and things like that, there's opportunity there. You could do it, I think.
There is, but what's the cost? I mean, what's the margin there? You know what I mean? I feel like the margin is shrinking more and more.
Maybe on the hardware, but hardware is about deploying software. And so once you have a device in everyone's pocket, then you can develop services around that, and you can find other sources of revenue. I mean, maybe you build out a whole ecosystem, like, say, Amazon, with their various tablets all around the content.
Right.
And now voice control.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
but not the Fire
I
phone.
look forward to what Andy.
No,
has.
not the Fire phone.
Not the Fire phone.
Sometimes you misfire.
You win some, you lose some. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
But I think it's safe to say that Andy's a smart guy, and whatever he comes up with, I think will be interesting. So, so him and his team.
It will be interesting.
The dude went ahead and denied himself a future where he could play around with robotics at Google, and that would be his job to do this. So I hope he comes out with something amazing, because that would have been a really cool reality too for a man in his position.
He can still play with robots.
That's true.
I mean,
there's Lego kits for that.